Good evening, church. My name is Evangelist Myra Lewis, and I bring you greetings from Harvest Church in New Jersey. It is a great privilege and honor to stand behind the sacred desk of Bishop Dr. Edward Ramirez. Today, I'll be talking about the flesh and how we can subdue it. If we read Titus 2:11 through 13, it tells us that we should deny ungodliness and worldly lust. Now, living in godliness is hard, can be hard, but it's not for the weak. Now, but it can be done to live in pureness. We need to overcome and remain steadfast against temptation. If you read 1 Peter 5, verse 8, it tells us, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. How does he do this? By us leaving a little door cracked just a little bit. That's all he needs. He's looking for an open door to just get in there, right? How do we close this door? By staying in prayer, being persistent in prayer, because the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is very, very weak. We need to submit to God daily. And by doing this, we will resist the devil, and he has no choice but to go. We should also honor God with our conduct. How is our spiritual integrity? If we look at the story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife, she was trying to tempt him over and over and over. And instead of him really thinking of how he's going to sin against or transgress against Potiphar, his main thing was, how can I sin against God? You can read this in Genesis 39. But he remained in holiness. He walked in holiness. 1 Peter 1:13-15, it reads, therefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and rest your hope fully upon the grace that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ as obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lusts as in your ignorance. We have to be all in with God. We have to carry our cross daily. Now, we also have to stay faithful, and by doing that, we will be walking in his favor. So again, if you remain vigilant, if you submit daily to God, if you walk with spiritual integrity, walk in holiness because he is holy, be all in, we will be walking in his favor. Psalm 5:12 says, for you, O Lord, will bless the righteous. With favor, you will surround him as with a shield. Now, going back to the story of Joseph, he ended up being thrown into prison. But even in prison, he was shown God's favor because how he walked. He walked in holiness and righteousness and in integrity, right? We also have to stay in peace. We have to remember that God is our defender. We don't need to defend ourselves and say our piece and say our side and so on and so forth. We have to stay immovable. 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, therefore, my brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. And I want you to picture, if you're trying to think, well, how do I remain immovable? Just picture those guards in London in the Buckingham Palace where they're just standing like this. You can do this and try to, and they just stay still. They don't move. That's how you have to picture it. Like, stay focused on God, stay focused on his word, submit to him daily. No temptation can overtake you if you stay 10 toes deep in prayer and submission to the will of God. Joseph could have easily taken the opportunity to be intimate with Potiphar's wife. They were alone, nobody was going to see them. But no, he refused to sin against God. That right there is true spiritual integrity. So, the message of this sermon is be vigilant. Walk in holiness, integrity, and deny your flesh daily. Watch how God will favor you against your enemies. So I want you to ponder on this today. Are you conducting yourself in holiness, in integrity, having immovable faith, or are you walking around like a shaking chihuahua every time the enemy comes peeking his head around the corner? Think about that. Where do you fall? I hope this message touched you and it blessed you, and God bless you.